within the few minutes that I have today. Remembering is our shared responsibility. We have to take it serious because it is in this context that we honor those who passed away, those who were tragically massacred just because of their identity. So it is very key that all Rwandans, including even foreigners, who know, who understand what happened in this country, who knows that there was genocide against Tutsis in this country, it is a shared responsibility for everyone to remember. And for your information, you like it or not, we will always remember. In 1994, over 1 million Tutsis were brutally murdered in a meticulously planned genocide that unfolded over just 100 days. 1 million Tutsis. Some of you are students and others are lecturers. I believe the audience, the big numbers are intellectuals. Simple mathematics. Just in 100 days, more than 1 million Tutsis were brutally murdered. Imagine it's just one day, meaning that they could kill more than 10,000 people, 10,000 Tutsis. For those of you who are interested in reading many books about how conflicts happen in different places, it's 2 layers that just in single day. They kill 10,000 people. This atrocity remains, the genocide remains one of the most horrific and shameful chapters in our modern history. Just in 100 days, 1 million plus Tutsis were murdered, brutally murdered. For those who are new in this country, I may advise you to take your time and go to visit the Genocide Memorial, at least to learn more. Because in this short time, it's not easy to describe within a few minutes of what happened in 1994. As I said, it is our shared responsibility, not only we as Rwandans who faced this tragedy, but even the foreigners, because genocide is condemned internationally. Despite the overwhelming evidence and official recognition, there are still individuals, particularly beyond Rwanda's border, who deny or distort the truth, propagating dangerous narratives that threatens justice and memory. The denials are still there, and the reason is very clear. I will go into 10 stages, at least to understand that in anywhere that genocide has happened, it goes through states. And genocide can only be organized by the government. Genocide is planned and executed. So those who committed genocide, after the genocide, it is obvious that they deny that there was that genocide. Why? Because they want to escape justice. 2, they want to distort the truth and the history of the victim. So it's in that context that young people, all of us, we bear a profound responsibility to preserve the truth, counter denial, and to educate the world that the promise of never again becomes a global reality. Understanding how genocide was planned helps reinforce its gravity and provides foundation to challenge denial and distortion. It's very key that all of us understand this genocide, because that is the only way we can fight genocide denial. Number two, that is the only way the promise never again will be a global reality. So I will go through the 10 stages in a few minutes. The 10 stages of genocide are clear testimony of the planning that goes into any genocide. It serves to enable policymakers and practitioners to identify indicators and preempt its reoccurrence. It's very pertinent to understand these stages. So there are 10 stages, as I said, I will go through. Number one is classification. Cyangwa se gushyira abantu mu byiciro. I just beg you to follow me. And I will be giving an example that happened, tangible example that happened in this country. People are classified and categorized based on ethnicity and identity. Example, Tutsis were portrayed as outsiders, a divide that began under the colonial rule and worsened post-1959, forcing many into exile across East African region and beyond. In 1959, there was genocide here in Rwanda. And you may ask, why is it not recognized? Because the reason is very simple. Those who committed genocide remained on power, so nobody would claim justice for the victim. 1961, and my father was among the people who were forced into exile. I was born in the refugee camp just because of what happened in 1959. I will come back to this point when I will be briefly discussing with you the reasons why RPA invaded Rwanda to liberate the country. And even before I reach there, if you are able to listen to the testimony of my sister here, you understand how the country looked like. And you will ask yourself, what would happen if nobody would stand and say, this is not acceptable? So, 1959, very good example, classification society, and the First Republic and the Second Republic inherited or embraced this division, genocide ideology, and led to what happened in 1994. The killing, the massacre, in a brutal way, the killing of more than 1 million plus in just 100 days. Category number 2 is symbolization. Buhawe ibimenyetso. Visible symbols are used to mark group identity. Examples. These are tangible examples that was available here in Rwanda. National ID cards listed ethnic affiliation, Tutsi, Hutu, which facilitated the targeted killing. She talked about the identity card. Before 1994, everybody who would be among us would have an ID card, and your ethnic tribe would be written in that identity card. And it was done intentionally, because it would be easy to identify somebody if they could not, you were not recognized based on the outlook. It was easy to ask you an ID card and then you disappear. But today, everybody said Umunyarwanda, and your ID cards, you can use it anywhere. Nobody will ask you who are you. And I believe that the students who are here, the first requirement, you give the ID, and they look at your transcript. So admission is based on merit, not on your ethnic affiliation. Category number 3, discrimination. Ibuzwa y'uburenganzira. Laws and policies systematically marginalize a group of. Example, state-run radio RTLM described the Tutsis as snakes and cockroaches, fueling hatred and inciting violence. Imagine if you have been following the testimony of my sister here. The husband did not marry just because he wanted to get a family. It was a way of how can I say? It was a way of getting married to somebody, maybe, I don't know, for pride. But basically, it was to make sure that he mistreat a person from another group identified as Tutsis. Ubundi umuntu ashaka kugira ngo yubake, ariko biteye isoni cyane ushaka umuntu uvuga uti reka ngende mubabaze, ntukabura n'ubwenge ukemera no kubyara nawe. Ubundi ni ishano riba riguye kugira ngo umuntu yice umuntu amaraso ye. But they did it. Why? They were indoctrinated by the government to hate Tutsis. Umwana hakwiye icyo yigishijwe n'icyo amenya. It would be so shameful if today their parents who still have this ideology, you are killing your children. That legacy will not help you and will not help one's society. You wish someone inzoka, snakes and cockroaches. Everybody hates a snake. A snake, nobody loves it. Even in the Bible, a snake is Satan. So you can imagine it's so evil that anyone who sees, what does he do? You kill it. Ufashe umwana ukiri mutoya, uyitangira gushaka ubuzima bwo kubaho muri primary school, then you say, this is a snake. Don't associate with a snake. I can't imagine. And that was the country. That's the kind of status that existed in this country. It is my prayer that we teach our children so that we leave a legacy of consistency, very peaceful, and stable. That will be the basis for the development of our country, because our unity is our strength. Utabishaka ubusu wacu kandi nawe arimo arihemukira. Stage number 5, organization. Genocidal infrastructure is developed. Example from 1992, the Interahamwe militia were trained, armed, and prepared for mass murder. Those who were here, they know very well that in 1990, from 1992 to 1994, it was a period of ceasefire. There was a peace agreement between RPA and the government of Rwanda to stop fighting and to build and have a transitional government. So you can ask yourself, why were they training the Interahamwe in that period of time? Nabivuga mu Kinyarwanda kugira ngo wenda abandi babyumve. hagati ya 1992 na 1994 twari mu gihe cy'imishyikirano. Hategurwa yuko RPA na guverinoma ya Habyarimana ko twese duhuza ingabo, hakajyaho ubuyobozi buguriweho n'impande zose, hanyuma tukayobora igihugu abantu bose barimo. Wakwibaza ngo ese interahamwe zategurwaga ku mirenge n'ahandi hose ku makomine na sekiteri zari zo kugira ngo bigende, ariko bwari uburyo bwo gutegura jenoside. Stage number 6 is pluralization. Gukaza umurego. Moderates are silenced or killed. Example, the Prime Minister Agatha Uwiringiyimana was assassinated on 7th April 1994 for resisting the killing. Ibi babyita gukaza umurego. Na wa wundi utemeranya n'ubwo bwicanyi baramuhiga bakamwica. Minisitiri w'Intebe Agatha Uwiringiyimana bamwishe ku itariki ya 7 kubera iki? Kubera ko atemeranyaga n'ubwicanyi bwakorerwaga Abatutsi. Icyo nicyo bita gukaza umurego. Buriya ubajije umugabo we yakubwira ko bamubwiye bati genda banze wica umugore wawe. Utanga urugero, hari ubu byabaye ubuhamya burahari, aho babwiraga umugabo ati mbere yo gukora kandi kazi banza wica umugore wawe. Gukaza umurego. Abantu batemeranyaga n'ubwicanyi nabo babaye ikibazo. Ni muri ubwo buryo Agatha Uwiringiyimana nawe bamwishe. Gukaza umurego. Persecution. Ihohoterwa. Victims are isolated, imprisoned, and robbed. Example, many were forced were guided to go into schools, churches, offices, only to be murdered. Imagine 1990, I think before 1994, if I am right, they say that Christians they were about 95%. I don't know the percentage of the Muslims, but some scholars say that in 1994 the Christians were about 95%. So you know, when we talk about Christians or people who go to church in the mosque, they believe that wherever they go to church, to the temple, they believe that there is life. There is a feeling that God is already there. So telling somebody to go in the church, you're creating a hope that they will be spared. So they were telling them to go to church to make it easier for them to kill. Abantu babwiwe ngo bajye mu nsengero, abandi babwira bajye ku mizigiti, abandi babwira ngo bajye mu kiliziya, abandi barababwira bati mugende ku babyitaga gute secteur cyangwa se kuri komine, kubera ko batekerezaga yuko ubundi umuntu mubwiye ngo ujya kuri komine abazi ko agiye kubona ubutabera. Iyo umuntu mubwiye ngo ujya mu rusengero abazi yuko mu rusengero bavuga Imana ntabwo bavuga iby'imiho. So you're guiding people to go to church, you're guiding people to go to the district headquarters with the purpose to be able to kill all of them. Ibi bintu birakora kubivuga, ariko birakwiriye ko jenoside yarateguwe, ntabwo ari impaka. Stage number 9, extermination. Ubwicanyi. The mass killing are carried out. Example from 7th April 1994, more than 1 million Tutsis were slaughtered using machetes and crude weapons. Itariki ya 7 ni umunsi w'umwijima ku Banyarwanda. Byaduhaye ubuhamya. Kuko nababwiye ngo the genocide is planned lisiti zabaga zihari zarateguwe mbere y'igihe, byari byoroshye kuvuga ngo umwana wa runaka ntituramubona. Byari byoroshye gusobanukirwa ngo runaka yashatse umututsi kubera ko byabaga byanditswe n'inzego. So, stage number 10 is denial. Perpetrators deny the genocide, blames the victim, and distorts the facts. Example, some former officials now falsely claim it was a civil war, attempting to shift blame into the Rwanda's patriotic front. Obviously, those who committed genocide, they have no way to escape other than denying that genocide was, that they committed genocide, that there was genocide against Tutsi in this country. Abantu bakoze jenoside bagomba barayihakana, kandi uretse na jenoside aricyo kintu gikomeye, n'umuntu wakwibye ikaramu arabihakana, aricyo kintu cyoroshye. Impamvu abihakana nuko abadashaka kugira ngo akurikirane. So the perpetrator of genocide, they deny genocide, and this is the last stage of the planning of genocide. Those who perpetrated genocide, the perpetrator of genocide, they deny because they want to escape justice, to distort the story and ignore the rights of the victim. I may go briefly how the genocide was stopped. RPA stopped the genocide. It stopped the genocide when we had here the UNAMIN, United Nations Force. The international organization was just looking. We have international media houses, some prominent newspaper, TV like CNN existed, BBC existed. They were broadcasting what was happening here in Rwanda. But none among the big nations, those who claimed to defend the human rights, they just stood aside and looked. Nobody came to stop the genocide. And that's why there are so many genocide deniers. And those who deny genocide, they are different categories. There are those who had the authority and power and the means to stop genocide but failed. And there are those who committed genocide who want to deny, who want to escape justice. So, the intervention of RPA is a pivotal to Rwanda's history. It is RPA that stopped the genocide. No one can deny the fact. When I was a student, I got a chance to study in the Netherlands. And one of my classmates asked me, told me that no, there was genocide, there was double genocide. And I said, you're wrong. I went through these stages trying to convince her. And at the end, I asked her, then if there was double genocide, who stopped the genocide? From that point, I think he was convinced. But you know very well that those who deny that there was genocide against the Tutsi, not because they don't have facts, but just because One, they are ashamed. Two, they played maybe significant role in supporting the perpetrator of genocide. Three, they are hiding those who committed genocide. So people deny that there was genocide against the Tutsi, not because they don't have the facts. So RPA, for those who maybe are still young, you don't understand the origin of RPA. RPA, the Rwanda Patriotic Army, was a military wing of the Rwandese Patriotic Front in Montagny that was formed by refugees fleeing ethnic persecution. I talked about it, that in 1959, when there was killing, when Tutsis were killed and their houses were burned, many were forced into exile. And I'm a child of somebody who was persecuted here in Rwanda. Then he flew to a foreign land, which is Uganda, and I was born there. So I grew up asking my father, why are we here? Briefly, he told me what happened in 1959. I kept it on my mind. So, in 1991, I was still young, at 18 years. I decided to join this struggle because we wanted to come back home. You may ask, was it necessary for RPA to invade, to launch a revolutionary struggle? You already have the answer, it is yes. RPF tried through diplomatic channels to convince the government of Habyarimana to open the gates for the refugee to come home. You know what he said? He said Rwanda is a small country, there's no place for them. In Kinyarwanda baravuga ngo nta ubasha kubuza umwana kwinjira mu rugo. In English, they say that nobody can stop a child to enter in his father's house, if I can make it.